my physician called a facility that would be in his top 3, and it's near here, and asked if they had availability. You know, he did most of the work. Then my insurance agent did a lot of work, and I just had to say what day I would go. To be honest, like, I'd been there for about 3 days. They kind of ease you into things. They don't put a whole lot on you at first. I'm not saying you go and you sleep in. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They ease you into your assignments and things like that. So I'd been there about 3 days, and my first assignment, because it's a 12-step based program, and at the treatment that I went to, and so you start working, you know, little by little on your steps. And I think it was about 3 days in, and I started having these, I mean, it was like butterflies, but times 200. And that's why I would take those pills before, because I didn't want to feel nervous or scared or fearful or, you know, anything. And it dawned on me at that point that not only was alcohol something I was abusing, it was the pills. Because I didn't even care about a drink. I wanted a pill to stop that. Mm-hmm. I wanted to feel superior. You know, I wanted to feel like, you know, I could bull, you know, my way, through this. Yeah. I could totally, but they were not accommodating me for that with that pill. So I truly had to start digging deep inside of me. And
which can be uncomfortable.
It was terribly uncomfortable, because I had years and years and years of, you know, lies that didn't seem like big lies at the time, but they add up. You know, you're lying to yourself, first and foremost. That was more important than anything, was honesty with self. It wasn't about me all of a sudden just making phone calls and saying I'm sorry to anybody and everybody. It was me looking at Stratton for who Stratton was. You know, you don't jump in there and start making this list of when I was 27 years old. You know, it's not, you know, that this happened or that happened or anything like that. It was really looking at the life that I was not living, is what it was.
So your emotions at this point had to be sort of
raw,
mixed, right? Like
So,
or did you have? How did you feel at this point?
I was fearful. I was scared.
Were you happy? Were you scared?
I was scared. Absolutely, because those are things that I had not felt or even thought about in so long. So I will say, I think on that first day, there was a weight lifted off of me, because people were telling me things like, you know, you just don't have to drink today. You know, it's not for the rest of your life. You know, it was, so I think that some willingness came over me.
Some relief. I said happiness, but maybe some relief, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here.
Well, it's relief in the aspect of I was in the best place.
Yeah.
And in the right place at the right time. And all that stuff, I became willing to be there and not say, I'm just getting some heat off of me. You know, I wasn't saying a foxhole prayer.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, God, if you get me out of this, I'll never drink again.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a willingness. It was almost like a spiritual experience when I was listening to that young man share, when I was like, oh my gosh, he's telling my story. Oh my gosh, where did you get this information? Yeah. You know, how can you feel the same way I feel? You know, how can this be? And then it was like, I'm not alone. I'm not unique. They have solutions. You know, these people have been through this. They're going to help me. They really know. And they're happy. They're laughing. They're having fun. You know, I was like, maybe I can do this. But I knew that I had to do the work. Nobody could do it for me.
For From regular family checkups to sedation dentistry, orthodontics and cosmetic dentistry, experience dental care the way it was meant to be. Right around the corner from a name you can trust, Miss Lou Family Dentistry.
If you like what we're doing here at Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, make sure to like, follow, share on Facebook and Instagram, and visit our website, MissLouChampions.com. It costs you nothing, and it helps us to continue to shine the spotlight on awesome people right here in our community.
See you guys.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Sabrina Doré.
So what was the turning point? Do you remember a certain time where you said, I think that this is going to, I think I can do it?
It was when that young man was speaking.
So that was the time that you told yourself, I can
when
overcome
those
this?
tears started and I started having some sense of emotion, I was like, look, I mean, like he's telling my story right there. I'm not unique. You know, I'm not all these things. There are people out there that have done this, that have been successful. There are people that can do this, and I want to try. I'm willing to do what he has done.
That guy speaking gave you that confidence that you needed for the first time in a long time that this
I don't
can
think
be
it was
done?
confidence. I don't think it was confidence. I truly think that was my spiritual experience.
Okay.
I think that was God answering a prayer in the form of that young man.
Much bigger than confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that I could do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
No way. Absolutely no way.
So when you say spiritual experience, tell me a little bit about that.
So I mentioned earlier in my life I had gotten really involved at camp, and I'm Episcopal. So I think, you know, a spiritual experience can be different for absolutely everybody. You know, my God is my God. You know, it could be different for you. It could be different. So I'm going to speak from my spiritual experience. I'm not saying whoever's is right or wrong.
Yeah.
So earlier in my life, I had spiritual experience when I was at camp or when I was doing youth camps or whatever it was. And to me, it would be like the Holy Spirit. In my opinion, it would be touching my heart and my soul. It's not an outer body experience. I hate to say that, but it's like it's like Jesus came and touched my soul.
I know what you're talking about. It's hard to explain, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's like something else came inside of me and took the obsession away and told me, for not in words, but said, it's going to be okay. It was, I'm telling you, I could have cared less at that point about ever having a drink.
Wow. So for you, it was an instant.
It was an instant.
Wow.
It was like, and it was that relief that I didn't have to live that way ever again. I'm telling you, that young man speaking to me that day was, and I was only there for 32 days, and he was there for that remainder. I think he stayed even longer, but my insurance, unfortunately, wouldn't pay for longer. But there was something about him that I felt so, just a connection with him, because I think he saved my life.
Hey guys, we just wanted to take a minute to recognize our awesome partners who help make this show possible. Trinity Medical Center, Miss Lou Family Dentistry, Natchez Heating and Cooling, and Plumbing. Sabrina Dore Agency, Hampton Inn and Suites Natchez, Hicks Chicks, Go Mart and On The Go Deli, Rise and Shine Studio, Rolling in the Dough, Concordia Bank and Trust, member FDIC, Ellard Physical Therapy, and the Brandon Iron Steakhouse. So let these businesses know how much you appreciate them helping us spread positivity throughout the Miss Lou. And remember, tell them Miss Lou Champions sent you. So after that spiritual experience, and you felt like it was lifted, was that it?
No, absolutely not. That was just the beginning.
That was the beginning.
So that was kind of like...
Wasn't that easy?
No. So that's what, it's... so you have to have a willingness, I think, and an acceptance to the fact that I have a problem. Okay, yeah, I have a problem. Now let's get to work.
Yeah.
Because drinking and using is only a symptom of what's really wrong with me. This is what's wrong with me. My stinking thinking and made me behave the way I did. It was the way I had adapted my life to suit me. And then, feeling unique, feeling a victim, playing these roles. So that affects everything in your life. So you have to change only one thing. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's like, but this isn't just a habit.
Yeah.
This alcoholism and addiction is a disease.
Yeah.
So it's not just like changing, I've not had anything to drink for 21 days, so I'm cured.
Yeah.
This is a lifelong process that I have to be happily doing. Some days not so much happily, but some days I had no idea, Ronnie, how to live in the real world. No concept, because I lived in a world that revolved around me. I knew I needed to pay bills and taxes and all that stuff. What is it? There are only two things you have to do in life: pay taxes and die,
yeah.
right? Well, there's a lot of stuff in between that, right? You actually do want to participate. You want... So I had no tools in my tool belt, so to speak. And being in recovery, you start working these steps. There's 12 steps. You get a sponsor. These are some of my tools that I have today. I talk to other people that are like me. I go to meetings where those people are. You're a worldly person, an earthly person. Yeah. I am not. So you live in that world, but I go to meetings where other people like me are.
Yeah.
You get it. I have to be taught it every day how to get, you know what I mean? I didn't deal with things on a reality basis growing up. I made my own imaginary world to make me feel comfortable and fit in. Be it drinking a 12-pack of ponies, be it... I was a little obsessive compulsive, so I started really kind of digging into my life and revealing. It's kind of like an onion, there's layers and layers and layers. It's like you get and you start remembering something, and I'm so grateful and thankful to God that He doesn't give you all those memories at one time, because I think it would be total overwhelming,
Yeah.
So He still, I'm 7 years in now, and He gives me stuff I'll remember, and then I'm like, and then like I may have to work on that with my sponsor. Mm-hmm. Do I need to make an amends, or is that something that, is it a living amends? Do I really need to contact this person, or do I just need to maybe, go do some volunteer work? You know what I mean? Do I need to work on me more? So you have people that like I was saying about peeling back this onion, like say I was in a situation and I may not have been drunk or using, but I may have been in a situation and acted badly because I was acting like an alcoholic or an addict. So just because you get rid of me using drugs and alcohol doesn't mean you get rid of that behavior. I could have bad, relationships with the opposite sex. I did it when I was back here, when I was sick, using and drinking. So I just may bring that into my current situation. That's not sober behavior. I've got to constantly,
I can see how it is so incredibly difficult because, like you said, you're not fixing one thing. I mean, there's so many layers to this, and it's got to be so challenging to.
Well, but that's the beauty of it is that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I can go to a meeting every night of the week and go sit in a room with 30 other people or however many come attend that meeting, and they're going to give me solutions. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I'm going to, that young man that saved my life, that gave that spirit, I sit in a room with 30 of them. Because some of them may have 6 weeks, some of them may have 35 years.
What about the young guy that we keep talking about? Do you know his name? Do you know?
I do know his name, but I don't know his last name because you don't. It's anonymous, and then you leave.
So he doesn't know the story.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's interesting.
I don't know where he is today.
Yeah.
It's not like you get out and then you get Facebook. Yeah. You go into a facility for treatment and they take away. You are just a sick person. You're not in there to make lifelong friends.
Well,
you're there to get help.
I guess what I'm getting at too is the interesting part of that is to think about from your standpoint is even this video today, he has no clue that you look and say, he saved my life.
Right.
So even this video that we make today, you may be saving somebody's life and may never know that.
Well, and all I want to do in my life today is be useful and purposeful.
Yeah.
And in order for me to stay sober, I have to give it away. And so that's why this is so very important for me to share the story, that it is okay to not be okay. We've seen that with the pandemic. You've seen a lot of these positive quotes, about it's okay, about mental health, about whatever it is. This is a big part of this is my mental health too, I just go to those rooms and sit with those people. It's like free counseling, really. And they're life lessons in absolutely everything I do today. I met you, Ronnie, I think by just happen chance, you and I ran into each other, on the streets of Natchez. Yeah. And I feel like I have a connection with you. And, what you're doing is a service to our community. And I think that by being sober today, it has opened my eyes, my ears, and my heart when they were all closed. It's like I ran my mouth all the time. And what I needed to do was take that cotton out of my ears and put them in my mouth and start listening. Because not only listening with my ears, but listening with my heart and with my soul. Because we're all on this earth. And life is hard, man.
It's tough. It'll beat you up.
It will. But if we open up, like I said, our eyes, our ears, and our hearts to other people, we help each other make it a little bit better every single day.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
We just wanted to introduce you to our newest partner, Natchez Heating and Cooling. They called us and said, hey guys, we love what you're doing and we've got to be a part of spreading positivity throughout the Miss Lou. So make sure to tell those guys thank you when you see them and give them a call for all of your heating and cooling needs.
Come see us for all your handmade and fine jewelry needs here at 415 Main Street in Natchez, Mississippi. You can also find us on the web at riseandshinestudio.com. Always remember to smile big, shine bright, and enjoy the journey.
That one of the things I love about living in Natchez is that I know everybody, or people know me. It's safety, it's security in numbers, but it's also people truly care.
They do.
They really care about each other. I've been hearing about some, scary things in our community, about drugs and, things like that. And I just really care about, and it's not necessarily youth, it's people of all ages it affects. I took prescription medication, but there are other things out on the street that I don't think not necessarily nice people put them on the streets. Yeah. I don't think that they're all making sure that people aren't going to either take too much of them or put something in them that might not be harmful, that type of thing. So, that affects a whole community.
Yeah, and we were talking off the set about how it doesn't discriminate.
Oh.
It doesn't have anything to do with income level or race or male or female. It'll get everybody. Age,
it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of going into treatment or going into the rooms that I go in for meetings, or it is the most diverse group of human beings that you can look around. And there is a camaraderie in those rooms, obviously, because you're all trying to help each other to stay sober for that day. But it's also, it is a brotherhood or sisterhood of mankind. It is, and you can feel it. It's like me going to church and having that spiritual experience every time I walk in those rooms. Because I am so connected to these people that our goals are the same. And it's uplifting each other.
Everybody's on the same wavelength of the universe, everybody's
absolutely
at the same point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those are, I was talking about my tool belt, going to those meetings, prayer, meditation, a sponsor, reading literature. But it's also outreach. It's all about unity. It's all about service to others. It's, and it's those things that are basic. We're taught those things when we're young, right? About sharing, about being considerate of others. But somehow in the rat race of life, we get lost. Those things totally get mixed up.
Yeah.
And we forget how important those things are. And I'm truly a happy person today. I don't have to be on. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was an pessimistic optimist. Was that? Yeah. An optimistic pessimist. I, would like good things to happen, but I always expected the worst.
Yeah.
And today I irritate myself today because I'm so positive. I can hear myself giving people pep talks, and I'm like, I used to be terribly cynical, and that is totally gone from my life today. I see such good things in other people walking down the street, and it only takes a smile. It really only takes a smile. You can change someone's day by that.
You sure can.
Just by speaking to people. It's just amazing what my recovery has given me. It's given me a life. I didn't have a life before.
Yeah.
I didn't participate in life.
Even though you were breathing, you weren't really alive. You were just sort of going through the motions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the old adage of the grass is always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't watering myself. I was draining myself every single day. Every opportunity I could, I was draining myself. So that I have to water. I compared myself to my siblings and, or my really close friends. I was like, oh, well, they've been married now 15 years, and they have 2 children. One is blah, 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 whatever. And the thing is that is the worst thing you can ever do for yourself, because I have no idea what goes on behind closed doors in those people's lives. I have no idea. You know, that what the hard work is. I had never worked, Ronnie, for anything in my life. And today, I can't wait to get up and go to work. Not only on myself, but for what I do for a living.
Yeah.
You know, and that was so important for me to find something that I love and am passionate about. And, you know, and that also gives me empathy. It gives me compassion. It gives me all those things in life that I think we as human beings need.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You're preaching to the choir on much of that. I just spoke this morning for the Friday Forum thing, and a lot of the things that you're talking about are things that I was talking about just this morning. So they're things that what you're saying are very important to me too, and that I've learned along the way. You know, we all learn, just different. We all have different journeys in life. Let's jump in real quick and talk about what would you tell to others. Maybe somebody out there is watching this video and they're thinking, man, this sounds a lot like my life.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person that's listening?
I'd say you're not alone, that there are lots of solutions out there. There's plenty of help available, that God doesn't want you to live this way. He does not. And you're beautiful inside and out. You just don't see it yet. And people will love you until you can love yourself. I remember a group of ladies saying that to me in my first home group when I got out of treatment. I could not come back to Natchez. I knew that was a slippery slope for me. And I remember a group of ladies, I had a temporary sponsor, and then she introduced me to a lot of the other ladies in the group, and then telling me things like that.
Yeah.
We're going to love you until you can love yourself. You know, you know, keep it simple.
You made me cry. That's powerful.
They would say things, you know, that were, I love, my favorite one was the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Things, you know, like one day at a time. If you can't do it, if you can't bite off the whole day, let's do it a second. Let's stay for this hour, you know, let's stay sober. Or, you know, think. What's my other one is first things first. And it truly, because it makes you go, boom, wait a minute, let me go back. I can't do anything about tomorrow, right? Can't do anything about yesterday. Where am I? I'm
Be
right
present.
here, very present.
Yeah.
And like my temporary sponsor, she would say, you know, people would be, where are you? And she'd be like, where are your feet?
Yeah.
That is here and now. And I'm gonna do it. You can't eat the whole elephant off at one time. You bite by bite by bite. It's progress, not perfection. So it's all these little slogans that you can see them on Facebook. You know, it's I just saw on the back of a van, no kidding, coming up here. It says you only die once, so live every day. How true is that?
You get some pretty good advice off a bumper sticker sometimes.
No, it was on the back, a tire cover. It was on the back of a van.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so true. You know, but it's one of those things like, I see things differently today. Like, I probably would have seen that and been like, what an idiot. You know, and now today I'm like, that's like an epiphany.
Well, and there's a book that I read a while back that kind of changed I read it and I had to read it 2 or 3 times. I was like, oh, wow, I've never thought about this. But it said if you ask people, what do you see with, most people would say your eyes, of course. But they said, you see through your eyes. You see with your brain. And I was like, man, that's so true because our eyes are just a tool.
Right.
But what we're seeing is because of up here.
Correct.
Because 10 people can see the same thing and see 10 different things.
Right. Perception.
So it really is what we have up here.
Absolutely.
That comes through our eyes.
Yeah, and you know, I had to declutter my mind. Yeah. I kind of had to dust the cobwebs off my heart, I think, too, you know, because it just kind of, and by getting all this stuff out, you know what I mean? Talking about all those, you know, 30 years or whatever of junk that I had just been holding on to for whatever reason. You know, it was like this black hole that I had a hole in me, and I was filling it up with all the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
And so today, what I do is I fill my stuff with good stuff, constantly. And it's just like when you get hungry, what do? You eat. When you get thirsty, you drink. But I filter what I put in me today.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
tell me a little bit about what's next for you and where, because this is a great story. Your life is a great story.
Oh, well,
it's not a sad story. It's a positive story. It's a story of power and overcoming and God's compassion.
Absolutely. And mercy.
And mercy, yes, God's mercy. So I see it as
and His grace.
Yeah, grace is the word. Yeah. And so I see this as a very positive story that's really just getting started.
Yeah, I do too. Even at the ripe age of almost 51, I just feel like, a light switch, ding, has kind of gone off.
Where are we going from here?
I don't know. I don't have a plan. I'm going to be honest with you, because today, only He knows, because I'm going to tell you what happens in my life today is like, things just happen, Ronnie. It really is crazy. It's like the promises of that in my life, fear of things, fear of economic insecurities, fear has gone out of my life today because I think the biggest things that I was so afraid of, I've dealt with them. I brought them to the surface. And I think fear was a lot of my disease. I still have the disease of alcoholism and addiction. But I have tools today, and I work with those. But I also think that by living an honest life today, that it's opening doors and, things for me that I never could have ever even dreamt of.
Yeah.
So, day to day, I hope that I spread positivity. I hope that I spread hope. I hope that I spread solution. I love problem solving, but I love connecting people is one of my most favorite things in the world to do. So that's personally and professionally, to be honest with you. That's what I like to do. And I get paid to do that today, right? And be sober and meet some people from all over the world. So I don't have a plan. Only someone else has a plan for me. The God of my understanding has that plan. My higher power has that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Whatever
it's exciting,
comes,
right? Yeah.
It is. Whatever comes my way. And, another thing that's so cool about my life I live today, so like my gut feeling, like your intuition. So when I was using and drinking, I couldn't trust my intuition, because it was all mixed up with chemicals, right? Yeah. And, my gut tells me today what's right, what's wrong. Go, that doesn't sound quite right, or, if it makes your stomach hurt a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what I go off of today. It's really cool, it's like I meet new people every single day. It's kind of like meeting you, and it's like, I'm going to stick with that guy. He's got a lot of good stuff going on, so it's, I don't know, maybe I'll meet somebody this afternoon and it'll take me down a different path. You never know.
You sound a lot like me.
Yeah.
I plan, but I'm also...
I think it's...
God puts people in your life all the time.
You have to be receptive.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
And universal donor.
Yeah. Well, you just have to... You have to have your heart in the right place and say, God, give me what you want to give me, and give me the power to use it in the right way.
Absolutely.
Give me the wisdom and the strength and the courage. And that's a big word, kind of wrapping this thing up, is the courage to use it in the right way, because it takes a lot of courage to come on and share your story with the world, because anybody in the world can see this.
Well.
And you have to be in a good place to be able to do that.
Well, that's an important part, of my life today. Like I said earlier, in order for me to keep it, I got to give it away.
Yeah.
And I want to keep it, Ronnie. It took me long enough to get here, and I want to keep it, but I also want other people to have it. I want to give. And, it's okay. I mean, it really is, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. I think that we get, our egos and, silly things like that get in our way, and we think we should be one way when we probably really shouldn't be. And, it's okay to ask for help. And, there's plenty out there. It's just you got to ask. You just got to ask.
Be a little bit vulnerable and say, hey, I don't have it all figured out. Can somebody help me? And especially, can you help me, Lord?
Getting down on your knees, in my opinion, does a lot of good. Absolutely. Well, humility. Definitely.
So I'm excited. I mean, your story has gotten me. I knew some of it, but I didn't know the detail that we've talked about today. And I'm excited. I'm a solution-based person, and I'm sitting here thinking, what can we do to reach more people? And I think today is a good start, but I'm here for you as a resource to reach as many people as we can.
Thank you.
And who knows what that might look like. We may be talking a year from now and say, this started because of this conversation.
You have no idea.
So
you have no idea.
So let's stay in touch about this. I know we'll stay in touch, but let's keep this on our platter and let's keep this moving forward.
I'd love that.
I encourage anybody that's out there, first of all, thanks for watching this. I think it's very important. Whenever you see Stratton, tell her thank you for sharing this message, because it's a powerful message. It's an important message. And I encourage anybody watching this that may feel like that to seek help.
Absolutely.
And to seek guidance, seek the Lord, seek other humans that have been through it.
And there are plenty of us in this community.
There's a lot of it. Like she said, you're not alone. I want to thank everybody for watching this. I want to thank our partners who make this possible. Without you guys, we can't tell these stories. God bless everybody watching this. God bless you.
Oh.
And as always, have a champion day.